Welcome to my podcast story, the show where podcasters share the real journey behind their voices, from their first mic check to their biggest milestones. Every episode reveals the lessons, challenges, and breakthrough that shape a podcast star's journey. I'm your host, Wisdom Okonkwo, and I can't wait for you to hear today's story. In today's episode of my podcast story, we have Anthony Weaver, the passionate host of About That Wallet podcast. Anthony's show empowers the sandwich generation to build strong financial habits through relatable, actionable advice. As a Baltimore native who grew up on the East Side, Anthony transformed his personal experiences with financial struggle into a mission to help others achieve financial freedom. What makes Anthony's podcasting journey special is how he helps others, how he combines his real-life experience as both a caregiver and money coach to break down complex financial concepts into practical steps anyone can follow. He's here today to share how he turned his understanding of poverty mindset into a platform that helps families confidently spend, make, and talk about money, and how his bike method is changing the way people approach their finances one episode at a time. Tell us your name and introduce your podcast to us.
Yeah, so my name is Anthony Weaver. I am the host of the About That Wallet podcast, and my podcast is focusing on the sandwich generation so that we can help them build money, talk about money, and enjoy their money with confidence.
Wow. How old is the podcast?
5 years.
5 years. That's a long time. Oh, I want us to go to the very beginning. What inspired you to start the podcast?
I didn't know enough about money, so I started talking about it. At that time, my wife just got tired of me talking about it, so I was like, well, let me go ahead on and start recording it. See who else want to listen to it, and it just kind of started from there.
Well, for me, I'm always curious of all the things you could have done to just keep talking about it. Why podcasting? What was your first introduction to the podcasting form of media?
Well, with podcasting, it was just looking at a resource where I can actually just talk and provide it to my mom. And that was the main reason, because she asked a lot of the questions, but they are very common and repetitive questions. And I was like, well, let me find a resource and put that out there so she can go to it anytime she needs to.
And how did you come about the name About That Wallet?
It was a lot of whiteboarding, but I wound up using my initials, and that's what came out.
Oh, wait. Oh, wow. That's true. That's brilliant. Wow, About That Wallet. Wow. Okay. A lot of white sections. Finally, is the podcast audio only or audio and video?
I do audio and video. I've been doing audio and video since 2021.
Okay. Because in 2021, at that point in time, video wasn't necessarily in, quote unquote in vogue. Why didn't you just do your audio only thing, and why did you start video from the very beginning?
From the very beginning it was just audio. Decided to go with video because some of the people say they only listen to things on YouTube. They don't know what a podcast is.
Yeah.
Or don't want to download another app for their phone. So I was like, well, I'll figure it out, because I didn't know how to upload it. And I was like, if kids can figure this out, I should be able to figure it out at this big age. So.
Yeah, I remember that line. I'm like, if kids can figure this out, that should be a piece of cake for me.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So you do video and you do audio, and you mentioned that you started the podcast just because it was more like people kept asking you questions, and you're like, oh yeah, let me just put the resource together. And the very first episode you recorded, what was it like? Can you still remember the exact details around it?
I know where I was at. I don't recall what the episode was about. But the very first one, I was actually at the living room table. It's just my phone, and I had a headset mic. So just like, a wired headset mic.
Yeah.
Using my phone, and I was using Anchor.fm. Is it Anchor.fm? Yeah. Whatever Anchor was, the platform that was at. And then it was before Spotify bought them out, but at the time it was called Anchor.
Oh, and okay. I'm trying to see if I could pull up the very first episode on the podcast.
Oh, well, it's about like 314 episodes back.
Yeah, I'll sort it by the oldest.
Oh, okay.
I'm on Apple Podcast now. About That Wallet. Okay, yeah, here it is, Anthony Weaver. Okay. Okay, I click on view all 300. Wow.
Yeah, I think the very first episode, if you look at the date, it'll probably say June 28th, 2020. My first upload.
Yeah. think the feature is on Spotify, but I'm trying to use the Spotify app, but it's just it's not. It's okay. Let me use the web version. That would work better. The app, the desktop app, is just not working. About that wallet. Can you hear that?
No, I can't hear it.
Okay, yeah. So sorry about that. Okay, yeah.
That's cool.
I'm at the Bada wallet, and I'll sort it by. I guess the feature to sort it is on mobile phone. I don't see it anywhere because I've used it for my own episodes to like sort it and see the very first episode. But it would have been nice to do.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, the very first one, like I said, a lot of them were just audio. I don't even have video for those.
Okay. So when did you adopt video?
The very first one, it was an audiogram. So the very first video is on YouTube. So you got to go to YouTube to find it. And the very first one was with Alice.
Oh, the very first one is on YouTube.
Yes, my very first video.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so, that's way easier.
I wasn't sure what you were looking for. I was like, I thought you were just going to my first episode to ask a question.
No, that's way easier. Wow. Yeah, I see you. Yeah, you're crushing it. 655 subscribers. Oh. And then the oldest is the oldest I see here is 11 months ago.
Yeah, they don't go too far back.
That's the oldest.
11 months ago? No way.
Yeah, I'm like, I could share my screen with you so you can see what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Because you got to get the one with the green. It should have my face on it.
Is it this one?
Go on YouTube.
This one, right?
Yes. So
this
if you go to videos, you go to oldest.
Yeah, I'm saying 11 months.
11 months ago.
I've clicked on it and
click on you go to videos. Let's see. Scroll down. Oh, you know what happened? Because when I added my RSS feed, that's what happened. So if you scroll down, keep scrolling. So for those of you who are listening, we actually, there we go. Scroll up just a little bit.
Yeah.
And a little bit more. Yeah, to the right.
Yeah, I see it. It's kind of like the timing is just broken. I don't know why that is. Well, I'm seeing 4 years and then I'm seeing 11 months. That's strange.
Yep. So yeah, I'm not sure why it does it that way. But if you scroll up just a little bit, and for those of you who are listening on the audio piece, so we're just going over my YouTube channel right now, just to kind of look at my videos. So some of the videos, like I still go live. And then sometimes I add my lives to my RSS feed, sometimes I don't. But as of late, I haven't, because I also do live shows when I'm doing demonstrations utilizing AI tools and how people can utilize it to make money, or how they can utilize it in their day-to-day life.
Wow, that's brilliant. Okay, for the podcast now, I'm curious to know what's the behind the scenes workflow from idea to down to publishing of the episode.
Okay, I mean, it's going to take the whole episode to explain that.
Is it that complex?
Yeah, because of the different systems that I utilize.
Oh, okay.
So I can do a full breakdown from soup to nuts. So when it comes to first thinking of it usually kind of come in different ways. So when it comes either an idea that I think about, or I hear something in the news that will kind of formulate an episode, meaning that I'll try to find a guest that actually talks about that, or I'll talk about it myself, or I'll get a request from a guest, or not a guest, a request from my audience. And usually my audience will say like, hey, I would like to learn more about real estate. I was like, cool, let me go look at my network, see who is in my network that has real estate experience. And even if I had them on before, I'll have them come back on again.
Yeah.
So then for our scheduling, I'll send them my Calendly link. Once they go through my Calendly link, I get all the information that's necessary through that. From that point, once we schedule that interview, I'll go ahead on and record it. From that recording, I edit those episodes. So back then, when I was recording, I was using Zoom at the time, and I would just download those episodes from Zoom, edit them with iMovie. Then once I'm finishing editing with iMovie, I'll extract via audio and also video.
Yeah.
Then going from that, I'll send the audio track over to eddie.headliner.com. And then use Eddie that will kind of formulate the whole show notes, the emails, the timestamps, the keywords, and it also provides blog posts as well. And then one of the things of having that, because it has the show notes, it actually listens to my prior episodes and put all that together, which is great. Then I take it all that information, including the transcripts, take the transcripts over to notebook.lm. Notebook.lm would actually give me a quick summary for an AI episode that I'll get from that particular one. So it does a deep dive of it. And then I'll take that, put that up and schedule that for the in my RSS feed. So I get the AI episode plus the regular episode, upload those to the RSS feed. Take the video, dump that over to YouTube. Once everything else is published, then because once it hits Spotify, I can log into creators.spotify.com, upload the video to that episode with the thumbnails and everything like that. So while it's processing for the video in the editing process, I'm working on the thumbnail for the RSS feed and also the thumbnail for the YouTube channel, because obviously they're two different versions and variations in that. So once we do that, then I go into my website, create the website blog post for that particular episode, including the YouTube link, the RSS feed, because it actually has its own embedded process, put that in, put the AI episode in there, put the blog post that I got from Eddie, throw that in. Once I have all of that, I create a folder inside Google Drive, put all of the show note information, their screenshots that they can utilize for marketing that particular episode on their own social media platform. And then also I have all the links that's necessary from like their where it's all hosted at, so that they can add it to their email list. And then plus I also include the email, like a draft email saying like, hey, I was just on about that Wallace show. You can listen to the show here. Here's the link. Bada boom, bada bang, get done. All of that when I'm editing, because I have a lot of guests and I think I've interviewed over 140 people at this time.
Oh, that's
so, and having all of that together, it just makes life a little easier just to kind of provide the guests with something once they're done. And then I also do a follow-up with them from a year later, just to kind of check in, just kind of make sure that they are good. Is there anything new and exciting? So they actually come on my live shows, because sometimes the pre-recorded ones are okay, but now they was like, hey, I just want to do something real quick. I was like, cool, come on my live shows on Thursdays and we all work it out. All of that to say, from an hour episode, I usually do 4 times the amount that the episode is. So if it's an hour-long episode, it takes me 4 hours to edit. Well, like everything I just went through, all of that, I could do all of that within 4 hours.
Ooh, that's about 5 to 6 hours per episode.
Yeah, if I'm doing like a 2-hour episode, yeah. But I got it down to about 4 hours, because it used to take me about 6 to 8 per episode.
You're not counting the 1 hour for the actual episode.
Well, I'm talking about like, the actual recording.
Yeah, the recording, that's time too. So that's 1 hour plus the 4 hours. That's about 5, 6, give or take. Wow, that's brilliant. Now, in terms of the cost and expenses aspects, you're the one handling the editing, so you saved a lot of cost compared to when you if you were to outsource that part of the podcast to someone to do it. But as regards to apps, the softwares, downloadables, and all those other things, right? I'm talking about recurring costs. What's that like?
When you say recording cost, as far as like the software that I'm using?
Yeah, I'm talking about recurring, like the things you pay every month just to run the podcast. You mentioned Eddie. You mentioned other things too.
Yeah. So Eddie, the headliner, I was paying like, I did their monthly package because I wasn't sure if I was going to keep it long term. So it was just $25 a month for that.
Okay.
Then when it comes to the hosting platform, it's about $20 there.
Okay. What's
so you're looking at 45? I'm using Captivate.fm. Yeah. Which one are you using?
I'm using Anchor.
Okay.
Now Spotify, creators for Spotify, but yeah, it's the same thing.
Okay. Yeah. So using a free one. Yeah. It's just that once you use the paid one, it gives you, open you up for
Captivate is great. It has so many automation tools, and now they're doing monetization. The thing is just it's wonderful. Yeah.
That's good. So I have those. Also utilizing, far as I just bought Riverside, so that's like $120.
Okay, you pay for the yearly subscription.
Yes, I pay for the yearly subscription for Riverside. what's it called? I had Zoom, which I already renewed, so I think that was another 150, something
Oh,
like that.
oh,
And then I had another one, Streamyard, because I go live, and Streamyard is about 240
yeah,
for right now. But even though, because I'm grandfathered in, the current price for Streamyard is about $420 or something like that.
yeah. Okay,
And that's
yeah,
most of my expenses just to record.
yeah. Oh, well. Ooh. Okay, you do Streamyard, you do Riverside, and you do Zoom. Okay. You separated each of them because a lot of podcasts was determined that they use Streamyard for live and also recording. And I don't know. I think they say it has some editing features. Like I don't really know. That's what they say.
Yeah, there's the only thing about with StreamYard, but I've been with them for since 2022 or
Okay.
at least 2021. I've been, as you saw, like on my YouTube thing, you can actually go to the lives and see. But I think it was 2022 was my very first recording, or 2023. But during that time frame, I've been with them for so long, it just became second nature because of all the features that it has available. Now,
Yeah.
editing, I never thought about editing with that particular tool. It's just that because I know that I can run everything live and right there, I can pull in all my media assets. I can throw in my
Yeah.
commercials live right then and there. So that's the beauty of it. But also, it kind of sucks because I don't want the guests to sit through when I'm actually throwing in a commercial
Yeah.
about myself for 10 seconds when we could just continue on and I could throw it in post
Yeah.
production.
Yeah.
So that's one of those things.
Wow. Wow. That's yeah. Yeah, it's just like when you're like, okay, let's take a quick break.
Right. I literally had to say that while we're
Awkward.
on this. Right.
Yeah, yeah. I'm like, no, no, let's. So, for me, I do my outro right after the podcast episode. I'm like, no, 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 that's not, no, that's not. Okay, but a lot of guys they understand that's not a big deal. They're like, yeah, but I'm like, no, 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 that's strange. Okay, so
Yeah.
you're doing those three softwares and um you mentioned AI tools. I know you did mention AI tools for money, but other than Eddie and Notebook LM, is there any AI tool app workflow that you use that you've not mentioned before?
There are some other ones that I used in the past, but I don't use them currently in my flow.
Okay.
Um, well, actually, there's one other tool I do use, which is Opus Clips, just to kind of help promote the show.
Oh, okay, that
That's the
makes
only other
sense.
one. Again, another one that I'm paying for.
You paying
Yeah.
for Opus Click too?
Yes,
Oh,
because I need to, because my episodes are about an hour or so long, and they limit you only like 60 credits if you only have the free version.
yeah,
And the
yeah,
free version keeps the little logo of Opus Clip on it. And I was like, I
yeah,
like my
nah,
own branding.
yeah.
So
Well, you're crushing it. So there's one of your video, it got 1.7K views, and then another 1.3K views in the short, and
yeah.
on 1.2K views. Wow, that's fantastic. Wow, wow,
Yeah.
you're getting
Thanks.
your money, the value for money. You're getting it back.
Oh,
Wow.
no, no, no.
Wow.
I'm not monetized on YouTube yet. So,
I know, like, I mean, the value, the what you're paying Opus
oh,
Clip for, like, you're getting it in terms of views, right?
yes.
And these are fresh eyeballs for the podcast. Wow.
Yes. Yep.
Oh, it's always nice to be able to justify expenses. I say, yeah, I use this is the return on investment I got, rather than say, oh, the thing is important, but it's not like I can actually tell you, the particular importance of this tool, but it just helps me. And like, yeah, what exactly does it do? Like, quick break. Before we continue, I'd love to invite you to join the My Podcast Story newsletter. Each week, I share highlights from our guest stories, behind the scenes podcasting tips, and resources to help you grow your own show. You can sign up at mypodcaststory.com/join. That is mypodcaststory.com/join. Now let's get back to the episode. Unlike
Right.
StreamYard, you mentioned that StreamYard just makes it easier, right? Because that's why I see a lot of persons, they want to recommend cheaper tools to you, but they don't understand that. I mean, that tool you're going to recommend to me, it gives me another extra 15 minutes of friction. And I'm like, this tool, 1 minute I'm already in the game, I'm already doing what I'm doing. I'm like, nah, that 15 minutes, I know I'm going to save cost, but nah, 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 nah. Let's not do
Yeah,
that.
because for a Mac, I believe it's called Ecamm, which
Yeah,
is very fully open, and it will take a lot to customize. But from what I hear and what I've talked to other people, they said that they love Ecamm because once you have everything set up, it's easy to click and go.
Okay.
The only thing about it is because editing, you get to have all the workflows and stuff like that in the background. For Ecamm, you can set that up. And if you don't have a Mac, you can use I think it's called UBS Studios.
OBS.
OBS, yes,
Yeah.
OBS Studios. And then that also has its own learning curves in the beginning as well.
Yeah.
So if you want to fully customize, like stream and look like the news station and everything like that, yes, you can do that. It's just that one of those things is like I have high turnover. Like I have to get these episodes up and running, edited, post it out, start scheduling the next set. Cause like right now I'm booked until about September now. But I'm doing like 3 or 4 episodes on the weekend, so that my backlog is really pushed out until February.
Wow,
at
February.
this point.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Like, I feel like that's a privilege. But it's a interviewing guest. It makes being consistent like way easier than doing solo episode. Because saying solo episode, you're like, yeah, I don't really feel it today. But when you have those backlogs of episodes down to February, even though except there's an emergency, but other than that, there's this what will I call it now? There's this need, the part of you that's like, I've recorded an episode with a guest, it ought to release the episode, right? I'm not just going to ghost them and disappear and not drop episode on my podcast. And so before you know, it's like 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, and then 2 years, 3 years, and you're like, well, yeah, I've been consistent, all true. Rather than you doing solo episode, and like, nah, not today, and then 2 weeks is gone, not dropped an episode. Yeah, so that's why I love interviews.
Yeah, so one of the things is that I haven't done a solo episode on my RSS feed. Besides my live shows, I would say it's been more than 2 years now.
Wow.
Since I've done a solo episode, because I've been interviewing like I have a lot of interviews. Even on my live shows, like guests come on and kind of talk about some things. So it really depends. But yeah, some people have asked me to do a solo episode on my show, but I don't know. I haven't found time.
That's the thing. That's the thing. I haven't found time.
Well, I mean, honestly, like I could use my live show and dump it in to make it like I could technically post 3 times out the week, like your prior guest does. But it was just I'd rather just keep it consistent with the guest. And then, like I said, my live shows recently have been doing a lot of show and tell. So unless I do some heavy editing and just kind of just shorten everything, because I'm playing the news section. We talking about stocks in the beginning. We talking about what's in the news. We talking about all these different things, and then I'm getting to the actual topic that I want to talk about. And then that's it. So
I mean, you could cut the sections. Like instead of doing the whole life, you could just pick
going
maybe
back to
like I said,
that's go back to listen
that's an
and
extra
edit.
time.
Yeah. So
right. Oh yeah, like I'm like, if I do this, it's going to take another extra maybe 3 to 4 hours. Like, is it really worth it? Nah.
Exactly. So that's what I was thinking about, just doing a full dump onto the RSS feed. I know some of the people that are listening right now is just like, why don't you just dump the whole thing? Yes and no, but remember, you gotta be mindful for your audience. As a podcast host, like you gotta protect your audience, and you don't want to have one of those. You want to provide meaning for them and provide a resource. You just don't want to just throw junk out there. There are some podcasters that do that, just throw junk out there. Like, well, you know what you're getting.
Yeah.
Like this is a trash episode. So
yeah, for me, it's how do I explain that? It's more like a lot of new persons will discover your show and they might not really understand what's going on here and they're like, oh, what's happening? Why is he? And like, yeah. But for some of the old timers, like they want to listen to you talk. It doesn't really matter if it's you showing and telling. It doesn't really matter as long as it's you. Yeah. That's Anthony. I just listened to him, but I'm like, I just saw you for the first time. Like, oh, what's this guy doing here? What's going on here? Everything is just chaotic.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah. I want us to look at the growth aspects of the podcast. At the very beginning, 5 years ago, what was your growth strategy like? Did you have one? And currently, what does it look like right now?
So in the beginning, it was mostly word of mouth. Just saying like, hey, check out my podcast. No, I'm just starting. What do you guys want to talk about? What do you guys want to know? But in the meantime, I'm just trying to talk about this. Is there anybody that y'all want me to talk about? Or any strategies that y'all want me to talk about? Nobody had anything because everybody's usually shy. But by just word of mouth and handing out pins. So I used to have About That Wallet pins. I don't have any. Oh, I got one.
Okay.
So I used to have About That Wallet pins.
Oh, I wish I could just grab one right now. Oh, I could just
And
see
then
it.
it
Yeah, I see
says,
it. Yeah,
yeah.
listen now.
And then, so my very first ones, I was like, hey, listen to About That Water podcast. I just had About That Water podcast on it, right?
Okay.
Then I'll hand them out. And then somebody was like, hey, are you on YouTube? And I was like, no. And then it was like, where can I listen to you at? I was like, on the podcast apps. They was like, well, what is a podcast? So like, where do I go listen to it? I was like, oh yeah, like Apple or Spotify. They was like, I don't know those. So now I put on the pin. So this is a new version. It says About That Water podcast. Listen now. Apple, Spotify, Google, Alexa.
Yeah.
Like I put all that. I didn't put YouTube. I should have put YouTube.
That's strange.
There,
like that's the main thing you just talked about.
Right, I know, right? But I try to fit because of the limitations of the.
But I feel like
printing.
the top three is Apple, Spotify, YouTube. And if the people that you don't mention their app, once they know that Apple is on Apple and Spotify, it's basically on every other podcast listening platforms.
Just about, I would say. There are some that you have to manually add into because there are a lot of them that are regional. So one of them that I'm actually added myself to is a Indian specific RSS feed. I can't even think of the name of the thing.
I need that name because I'm curious now. I'd love to add mine to the Indian RSS feed.
Yeah, I'm like one of the few people that speak English on that. Because I was listening to the RSS feed, and I was like, okay, well, this sounds nice. But then there's another one which is strictly for the continent of Africa. It's called Haiti, or Haiti. And let me see if I can get the proper term, like the spelling, because they don't spell it like Haiti.
No. Okay.
And I want to say it's Hayti. Yes, Hayti, which is a Black-owned news and podcast app. Yeah. So hayti.com. So for those of you who are podcasters looking to kind of reach out to a broader audience, definitely. And if they are Black-owned as well, they try to focus on Black content creators. So you can actually add your podcast there.
Yeah. Well, okay. I'll do my digging around for that Indian podcast, Indian podcast platform. Probably I should find it. You mentioned this pen. For me, how did you even know the pen was working out? Were you able to see the downloads or the listens, anything change?
Well, it's just kind of something I can just give the people. I didn't even look at it that way. I was just happy to market the show.
Okay.
I didn't even look at the downloads or anything like that. So that was the first start. Then somebody else told me, well, like, why don't you have business cards? And I was like, well, business cards, it's like kind of lame.
Yeah, they don't use it.
But then they was like, and then they was like, yeah, you should go down and get them anyway because they're cheaper and you can spread them out faster. And I was like, yeah, you're right. So I went on and got business cards. And then when I got the business cards, I was handing them out. And then I went to my first financial conference because I'm talking about business as a podcaster. Me and talking about finance. So I went to the conference called FinCon back in 2022 was my first one. Yeah, 2022 was my first FinCon. Then from that particular conference, somebody there was actually a PR person, and they was like, yeah, your business cards are not effective enough. They, in a short sense, I actually had her on the show to talk about it. But she said that, I will help you rebuild your business cards so that it doesn't waste space. So now that I have a QR code on one side and then it has all my details on another side. And so I hand those out now. And then because of that, I've noticed more clicks, especially during conferences. I can hand out those business cards. And I've noticed that a lot of people do check out the show that way.
Do you have a copy of, what should I say, of the business card? So we can see what it looks like just to get some ideas flowing.
You asked me, right? I don't have any on me. Like I can get
like
one.
business card. It's supposed to be with you. Okay, I need a business card. What do? Give me your business card. I know technically you can't give me the business card, but give me the business card. It's not there.
So on the yeah, I know, right? I know it's not great marketing. But I didn't think you were going to ask me about it. But yeah, so the business cards are good to have. And because I'm going to conferences more, and so that's one of the things that help me market the podcast is going to different conferences, going to meet people face to face, and continue the face to face word of mouth has been the greatest thing. thirdly is that I'm actually getting a lot of people who've never been interviewed on the podcast.
Oh,
So, especially from a business perspective, because they don't know what to talk about. And I was like, it's okay. I got you. I'll curate the question. It's going to be something you already know. It's just so people can know who the owner is and who they're getting
yeah.
their services from and what your specialties are. And so, because of that, that actually helped them traject their businesses by tenfold. Had one person, they do a cleaning business, and I was their first podcast they ever been on.
Oh,
And to this day, it's still on their website, their very first interview. And she's gained so much business from it that at the point she was like, I can't take anymore. I need to hire more employees
wow,
just to kind of handle the work.
wow.
So, like the power of a podcast, if done right, can actually 10x a client's business.
Oh, I'm curious because you mentioned that see today she still gets more business on the podcast episode. So what you're telling me now is that the episode you've recorded, a long time ago, people are still listening to it and people are still
Yep.
going to check out our website and our business.
Yep. And then also she uses that to help market herself to other businesses. So she was like, hey, this
You
is,
featured
if you
on
want to learn more about me, hey, this is this.
the episode.
And yeah, this is the
Wow,
episode to learn more about it.
wow, that's brilliant. I never thought of it that way.
Yeah. And she was actually able to like retire her husband from his job, from her business.
Wow,
Just like, it's so great.
yeah, that's such a unique story.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, I like to share people's stories. So you don't have to have a business or even talk about it. Everybody has a money story.
Yeah.
Um, and that's the reason why I like what I do. Eh,
Yeah, yeah. Money is more like a stream of river that cuts across every part of the world,
Yeah.
right? Everybody has like a money story. I like that. Yeah. Wow. You talked about marketing. You said face-to-face marketing has been the thing that worked the most. And one of the key things I noticed about your marketing is the fact that you you've always been um being in front of people who are curious about finances, right? Everybody has a money story, but not everybody's curious about finances, right? So for me to want to listen to a podcast about money, I have to be like, oh yeah, I want to talk about, I want to learn more about money rather than,
Well, here's the thing. By the time you start searching for something, the problem is already there.
yeah,
So if you're saying, hey, I'm broke and I want to make more money, you're going to search for things that help you make more money.
yeah,
Like, hey, I'm about to bury my dad or my mom. Where do I go to help me bury my dad or mom? Or like, hey, I'm about to have a kid. Where do I go to kind of help with, the finances around having this
yeah,
kid? How much money should I have? Should I
yeah,
invest with them? Like, what type of investment should I have for them? So, this is the reason why I wanted to create my podcast as a resource with all of these different episodes. So there's something for everybody and you have a resource to go to. And that's the power of a podcast. It's like I said from the beginning, it was mostly for my mom, but my mom is like my target audience. It's like if she needs something, she can go to my show first
yeah,
and then get the baseline information before she goes out to anybody else to talking all this jargon and not knowing what's going on. So like my show, I break down the jargon. And when I have the guests on and they're using these acronyms, I was like, no,
yeah.
we need to take it back.
Breaking down.
What does this acronym mean? What are
Yeah,
you talking about? So, and that's the thing. It's like my show I wanted to be like more of an entry level show to finance. Not as direct as Dave Ramsey's is, but more so the understanding of the language that's being talked about.
yeah, yeah. Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. And then so also the opportunities, I'm sure you're gonna get there too. What has podcast has opened up
Yeah, okay,
opportunities
okay,
for.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
We here.
Let's
Podcast to the
let's go there.
podcast.com.
Let's go there. Okay, okay. What are some of the opportunities
Right.
podcasting?
So,
Okay. I hope
right.
you won't say money, right?
Yeah, we'll open
Definitely.
up somebody. Yeah.
Oh,
But one of the things that it opened up me to was to do public speaking. So one of
okay.
the things is that I'm actually speaking. I'm not sure when you're going to release this episode, but I'll be speaking at FinCon this year, on the main stage for first timers. I think it's coming up in September. Yeah.
September.
So it's in September. And I'll be speaking at that conference. But this will be the first time on the big stage at a
Oh,
conference, speaking in front of like almost, I would say about 500 to 600 people.
wow.
Um,
That's
just brand new.
that's massive.
So Yeah.
Wow. Well,
So but prior to that, I spoke at 5 different events just last year. So from coming from last year to now to only to speak on the stage in front of so many people, I mean, podcasting has opened up so many doors, so many resources, to the point I can travel to different states and I know people in those states and provided connections that I would never have on my own if I was in my own bubble.
yeah.
So if anybody's looking to start a podcast, I always say get on the podcast first. Do not start a podcast if you don't have to, because it'll be surprised. You can actually go on do a
Other people's podcast guesting.
yeah, and by guesting, you can actually create your own podcast RSS feed. One of
Yeah.
the guests that I've been on, they actually had a full page dedicated to all the podcasts that they've been on.
Oh,
And so you can go through and click each one of them and learn more about them. For me, I actually have a YouTube playlist with all of the shows that I've been on and a
yeah.
Spotify playlist with all the shows that I've been on. So it makes it easier for anybody to research me and learn more about what I'm
Yeah.
about.
One of my guests, what he does is he actually takes the raw file and he releases it as an episode on his own podcast.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. But I had too many to deal with, so I don't
Yeah.
even bother.
No, you already a podcast also, so yeah, that makes sense. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you mentioned Ficon at the very beginning, I thought you spoke when you mentioned why you were talking about the cat, business card. I was like, I thought maybe you went there as a speaker. I didn't know it was as
No, I went there as a guest. My very first one, I went there as a guest.
oh, okay.
I didn't start applying to be a speaker until I started meeting those people at FinCon. They was like, "Why stop limiting yourself? Just do it." And I was like, "What? You can apply to be?" They was like, "Yeah, that's how we do it." I was like, "Oh,
Wow.
well, let me go apply then." And I applied to
Oh,
everything.
wow. Yeah. Like, okay. I thought they found you. I didn't know you guys applied and reached out.
Because once they start to know your face, they see you, you come into their conferences, you spending money with them, you always advertising with them, and then they was like, "Hey, we want to give you a shot." And that's ultimately really what it is, because they already know you know them, they know you, the relationship is there, and it helps you build a strong bond. So, say if you like KFC for any reason, you can start talking about KFC as a full episode,
Yeah.
and you go to the KFC store, your local store, and you know the manager there, you know the employees there. But because you're constantly there and say like, hey, you wanted to take your episode and do a full episode inside KFC.
Yeah.
They was like, yeah, you good. We know you.
Yeah.
You're not going to destroy the establishment. You're not trying to do anything wrong. And they will work with management to work that out
Yeah.
because they know you. And it's a relationship business. And that's one of the things that podcasts provide is, you spanning continents, you spanning business, you opening up the world to, we open up, I would say not the world, you open up the world to your audience, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the beauty of it.
I like that example of KFC. Probably I should think of a restaurant like that, so that what I'm in doing the interview, I'm dishing down a very delicious meal.
Yeah.
Mid
Go
interview.
for it.
That would be nice. Courtesy the restaurant, because KFC is not in the states that I'm currently in, but it's in the country, but not the states.
Okay.
Wow, that's a brilliant idea.
Yeah.
Okay. Other than the speaking opportunity, what other opportunity would you add to the list?
I would say is that you actually get to rub shoulders with people that are in the industry that you're excited about.
Yeah.
So like for you you just interviewing a lot of other podcasters, right?
Yeah.
To learn about their story. So say if you go to Podcast Movement, which I spoke
Yeah.
at twice already, you can go in and be like, hey, I want to be on stage to talk about all of the interviews and all of the podcasters. These are the top 3 things that everybody's struggling with. These are the
Yeah.
top 5 things that a lot of people are doing to help market their show that's been successful. This is the way how they making money. Like you actually are talking to the people versus using just the data that Edison
Yeah.
uses. I'm sure you saw Edison
Yeah.
research.
Yeah. Right.
And then YouTube does their own research because they actually going to be a podcast movement. Microsoft does their own, and then I believe it's another one, Nelson Research does their own thing on podcasting. And I'm not sure if you saw the latest notes, but Nelson just revealed that a lot of African Americans, or even just people, the Black community, really only learn about new things from the radio more
Oh,
so than podcasting.
oh,
So if you're trying to get in from podcasting and slide over to radio, I mean, that could be the next move. If you
yeah,
want to reach the African American audience or the Black community or the BIPOC community. Um, or, you know, because we already got the same equipment, you can just say, hey, give me a segment on the radio.
yeah,
I just
yeah,
need 5 to 10 minutes, say
yeah.
what I gotta say, and that's it.
Yeah, that's it. I've had a lot of guests who they have their own radio show, right? And for some of them, they partnered with the radio show, they share the revenue. For others,
Yes.
they pay for the radio airtime and then they put their own ads on it, right? So
Sweet.
that way it's even easier to reach out to sponsors because now you tell them that, oh, I'm so and so radio, right? Especially I think it's easier to get sponsors when you reach out to the people that are already paying for ads on the radio network and say, "Wow, you're
Yep.
paying on ads on this random time that people don't even listen. I have a very valuable show. How about you put your ads and sponsorships, and that way you're able to pay for the airtime, and you're also able to get your own financial cost back." So I have a lot of guests that do that radio show, and it's brilliant because that's free marketing.
Yeah,
You just
easy.
tap into the audience and yeah, they go check out your podcast and all that.
Right. And most radio shows are looking at about 2,000 plus listeners, or I'm not saying 2,000, 20,000
Wow.
usually listeners based on which radio station you're on. So you might be able to get that in as well.
Yeah, and if you're doing pre-recorded episodes, you could basically be in as many stations as you want to be.
Yep.
Yeah, well, that's
Cheers.
it's a marketing hacker. I'll touch that
Yeah.
power one of these days. Yeah.
Hey, start tomorrow. Like,
Yeah.
what's holding you back?
Yeah,
Reach out
that's
to a
true.
radio station. Let's say email.
That's the
And that's
that's
one
the
thing
next
about
thing I'm going to do. I'm going to reach out without any episode, without any structure, without anything formed in. I'm
Yeah.
just going to send an email to 5 to 10 platforms, and then when they say, "Yeah, what do you have for us?" and then I'm
Why
going to
5
cook
to
it up.
10? They got to be more.
5 to 10.
Don't stop at 5 to 10.
Okay.
5 to 10 a day. How about
I
that?
want to start with the stations in my states, and then
Okay.
I'll move to closer other neighboring states, and then hopefully I cover the whole of Nigeria, and then I could see if I could reach out to other African countries, and maybe there's a lot of stations, they're looking for quality content.
There you go.
Yeah. Well,
You got a mic?
I have everything I need. I have
Right.
everything I need. Right. It's radio. It's not like I need a fancy camera, and it's just radio as long as the mic and everything is good. And if I'm making a couple of bucks from it, I could finance the editing of the audio. So that's not really a big
There you
deal.
go.
Yeah. Okay. It just occurred to me that we've talked about a finance show or a money show, and we've not really talked about money. Does the podcast make money? Yeah, that's it. Like that's like it's strange. Like we're supposed to talk about that. Does the podcast make money?
Yes, my podcast. Sir.
Okay.
It just started. Huh? Is it? No, I don't.
Okay.
I'm trying to get there. It's just this year I started trying different avenues.
Okay.
So I could just talk about my revenue, my income streams.
Okay.
I know they always try to say you're supposed to build 7 income streams to be, whatever, rich. But you got to think about it. Everybody start with that one idea, that one focal point.
Yeah.
So for me, my main focal point is obviously the podcast. On top of the podcast, these are the different branches. So you got to look at my merch, which is the shirt I'm wearing.
Yeah.
You can actually go on the website, aboutthatwallet.com/store. So you got merch there. Secondly, you can actually sponsor an episode. So if you want to pay me $50, I'll say like, hey, this episode is sponsored by so-and-so. Just pick an episode that isn't sponsored and just say like, hey, Anthony, I want to buy this one. Like, okay. And then what I'll do is I'll take off the ads, whatever, for that. Then you got another way, which is throwing in ads itself. So if you want to have like a little segment, you can throw an ad in there. I have Patreon. So you actually can do a monthly subscription, be part of the newsletter and so forth. There's an ad section inside my newsletter, so you can always be part of that. You can always donate. I mean, I'm not going to turn down donations.
Yeah.
And then obviously it's from the speaking gigs, and then I'm working on photography next, which is utilizing the camera to start taking photography in real time for different events. I'm not editing. I'm just taking photos. So don't ask me for much more.
Okay. I feel like everything's connected, but in terms of the whole pie, right? If you were to give percentage wise, right, what would you say? Oh, this is so percentage. This is 40%. This is 50. In terms of the amount of revenue they bring in monthly.
The one that makes the most will be ads, sponsored episodes,
Yeah.
actually.
Okay.
So the guests will actually sponsor their own episode,
Wow.
and so they will pay for that episode, so it doesn't have any ads or anything like that on it. And so just straight them, and all the ads that are on there are their ads. So they can have as many ads as they want to.
Wow.
Since it's an hour-long show, 45, it's usually around between 45 minutes to an hour long. It's all them. So
that's brilliant. You just gave me a brilliant idea. Wow.
I'm full of ideas, Theo. I got you.
Okay. Okay. What did you tell them? Like, what was the expectation? What was the pitch when you're like, oh yeah, I'm just sponsor the show? What was that like?
Well, it's mostly starts from, hey, I have this cool book that's coming out, and I want to talk about it on your show.
Okay.
And I was like, cool, but you got to give my audience something first before we talk about your book. Which is fair. It's a fair trade-off because I got to protect my audience.
Yeah.
But because we're going to talk about your book and you're really trying to market your book to my audience, it's a marketing episode at that point.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm interviewing like
Yeah,
you,
regular
like
episode.
Wizard. You come on my show and like, hey, we just talking shop
Yeah,
about
we're chatting,
podcasting.
yeah.
But if you're trying to sell your podcast, like, hey, everybody, go check out this podcast because this podcast is this, and this, and he's selling this, and this is what he's doing. He's so great. Yes, we can talk about that, but that's not the main focus of the show.
Yeah.
So most of the time when they come on the show to pay for that, the main focus is their product.
Yeah.
And that's what that is.
Yeah, it does make sense because since it's a marketing episode for them to spend some of the marketing budget on that.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'll add that to my catalog, but for now I'll start with the radio shows because I feel that the radio show is easier to monetize because I can just tell them that, oh, I'm on so radio station, right? They don't have to start asking me, oh, how much listeners do you get? I'm like, nah, we're on radio, and like, yeah, pay us this. And
so this is the thing. This is a hidden gem
okay.
that everybody has access to. And the reason why a lot of us don't make money is because we don't know how to utilize our outbox, because we keep waiting for people to send us information. We need to actually be out there and reach out to the people who have the money, who that we want to reach. And that is the power of it all. We need to start actually saying, hey, if you want to be part of this project, this is the fee to be part of that project. Like you say, you want the ads, they don't even know you exist because you never asked anybody. Well, how you expect them to come to you, just randomly find you? No, you got to go out there and tell them like, hey, I'm here. I know you're looking for this. This is what I can offer to help you get to that goal. And that's one of the things that a lot of us forget is that we need to tell these businesses what we can do, what our specialties are to help them reach their goal. We don't do enough research on these businesses either.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that hurts a lot of people. So even if there's like hotels in your area, like who is your audience, by the way? Is your audience other podcasters or?
Yeah, it's podcasters.
Okay. So strictly podcasters. What are the needs of a podcaster?
I mean, grow their show, make more money.
Right. We need equipment.
Yeah.
Right. We need cameras. We need platforms to utilize and ride on.
Yeah, Riverside.
Yep. We need lighting.
Yeah.
We need monitors if you got extra monitors. We need mics.
Yeah.
Well, we did talk about mics. Like I have a full mixer over here.
Yeah.
So anything to kind of help promote that show. Okay. Now you're looking at, okay, well, what do podcasters eat? Where do they go to spend their money? What do podcasters like to do on their free time? How often, you know what I'm saying? So once you dig down that deep, now when you go out to these particular companies, you can say, hey, my listeners, when they go out to eat, they usually eat at your restaurant. So I would love to I see that you guys are looking for branching out into other states, like you said, to different states. I have several audiences that are listening. My listeners are there. Let's go ahead on and start marketing out to them. I'm already local business support local people so we can spend together. If you have an international company over there, be like, hey, I'm over here in Nigeria. I see that you're trying to reach into the Nigerian audience. How about you work with me, work with us, so we can get your name out to our audience inside Nigeria. So you got to look at it in so many different ways, but you just got to you got to understand where they want to go in order for you to provide the resource or what they want.
Yeah. This idea you just gave, it's really perfect because I am thinking of starting a local podcast, right? Local for just my state, not for the world, right? If
Perfect.
people are listening from the world, it will be people that are from the states. Maybe Nigerians from. I'm currently from Edo State in Nigeria, so people from Edo State that are living in diaspora, they just want to know how their back home is doing and everything, so they're catching up, right? And so for me, I'm like, okay, what's a restaurant that I really like that I'm like, oh, I can reach out to them and say, yeah, you can put to the show and we'll talk about this whole show is sponsored by this, and right. And that makes sense because a lot of the times we have shows that it's just everyone and everybody, and it's really hard because people don't really understand, like, like, I don't think my people listen to that podcast, right?
So that's why one of the things with my show, because of the name, it just says about that wallet, it's not niche down. But if you say like, hey, this is a Nigerian, name your local state, and say like, so say whatever state it is, saying like, hey, this is that show, and we focus on whatever.
A lot
you
of
say
local
like
businesses
food.
will give
if
me
you focus
money.
on local businesses, right?
Yeah.
So how to do business in your state.
Yeah.
If that's the name of your show, then everybody would know, hey, we want to know how we do business. And that means that you going out to different businesses saying like, hey, how do you do business? And that'll be your tagline.
Yeah. How do you
your
do
very
business?
first question.
How do you do business?
Right. And then you going through, okay, like who's your customer base? What's your revenue looking like? What are you looking for? What do you need? Because once you start asking the businesses what they need, you'd be surprised that other businesses are also listening.
Yeah.
So they already know that business already need it. They can come on your show or even reach out to that particular business owner and be like, hey, we provide this service. Did you know about us?
Yeah.
And then they can probably work a deal because they came through you.
Yeah. Well,
so
that's it. I need to put myself out there. Enough of playing small.
Like the power of the email, man. That's what I'm saying.
I need to send emails. I need to make phone calls, some hard conversations, some deals.
But you got to start with the email because they got to know who you are, contact info, website to learn more about you. And even if you start the new episode, just like you said, with Kitty, what's her name? Was Kat or Kit? Forgot her name. The one that your latest episode. And she was saying is that at least record the 3 episodes.
Yeah.
Just so that you have them already.
Yeah.
And get those out there because once you get those out there, it kind of at least say, okay, he's serious. Most podcasters fail because one, it costs too much to maintain.
Yeah.
They run out of money. There's some high quality podcasts that are like, man, why did y'all give up? And it was just so good. But the cost of editing, or like you had a co-host and the co-host didn't work out, and so they had to dissolve the whole thing and
all that. Yeah.
So
that's a brilliant idea. I feel like we moved from talking about your story, and now I've had so many things to do that I need to implement. If I do get my first deal, or yes, I'll let you know, Anthony. And that would be
we definitely
gotta
have a virtual drink or something.
Yeah. It will be a huge celebration. And you mentioned you'll be speaking in September. Can you tell me the date so I can just when it's getting close to that day, I can give you a virtual. Yeah, I'm rooting for you.
Okay. Yeah, it's September
10.
Yes.
Okay. Ficon, Anthony. Okay. Yeah, that's fantastic.
Is it the 10th?
Is it 10th or is it something else? I've written 10th.
Let's go with September. Let's go with the 9th. I'm gonna just want to be safe. Let me look it up. Let me look it up right quick.
I don't want to be wishing you preparatory messages when you're like, oh, no, that's done already. I'm done with that.
Right. Okay, yes, it's perfect. September 10th.
Okay, September 10th. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
And then I'm speaking again in Afros and Audio, which is another Black-owned podcast group. I'm speaking with them in October.
Oh, okay.
And that again is October the 11th.
10 and 11. What's happening? Why is everybody putting their events 10 and 11?
I know, right? Well, this one, I'm sorry. It's October 18th is when I'm speaking.
Okay. There's a distance.
October 18th.
That's
Afros and Audio.
Afros and Audio. Okay.
Yeah.
That's Black African Americans in Audio
Conference.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Wow. Thank you so much, Anthony. I feel like the conversation could go on and on. And Just on a closing note, what advice do you have for more like what advice do you have for yourself 5 years ago when you started the podcast? And if you could go back and yeah.
The very first thing I would give myself is don't do episodes. Like, cause I used to do well, actually don't do seasons, do
Okay.
episodes.
Okay.
That would be the one tip that I'll give myself.
Oh, okay. Thank you for that. And can you tell us a little bit about the show, where we can listen to the show and connect with you?
Yep. So the show is about that wallet. You can find it on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you listen to podcasts. The audience is for the sandwich generation, people who have kids and also caretakers to their parents, so that y'all can spend money, talk about money, and enjoy your money with confidence. And we always provide practical resources, practical knowledge so that you can take action today. So always tune in, and you can always join my newsletter too. It's aboutthatwallet.com/newsletter. And it's a monthly newsletter where I provide lots of details, AI prompts. We talking about like different conferences, money conferences that you can go to or to even check out virtually. And then just so many other resources in there and how to make money while you online as well. So
Yeah.
it's pretty
Oh,
nice.
thank you so much, Anthony. It's been delight chatting with you. And I'm really happy because now I've had so many ideas. Even though I had the ideas, some of the ideas, I'm like, oh yeah, no, what's holding you back? Nothing. So it's time to send some emails.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Can you just say the website again?
Aboutthatwallet.com.
Okay. Okay. I'll put the links in the description and the show notes so listeners can go directly to the site. Thank you so much, Anthony.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. That's it for today's episode of my podcast story. I hope you enjoyed listening to this journey as much as I enjoyed sharing it with you. If you found value in today's episode, make sure to subscribe and leave a review. It really helps others discover the show. And don't forget to join the newsletter at mypodcaststory.com/join for more stories and podcasting insights. Until next time, keep telling your story because someone out there needs to hear it.